wide receiver battle. And I don't even think this is a battle. I think your top 4 wide receivers are DeAndre Moore, Ryan Wingo, Emmett Mosley, and Parker Livingstone, which if you would have told people a year ago Parker Livingstone would be your 4th best wide receiver on next year's team, I think they would have laughed at you. But he is blowing people away in camp, guys. And those are the top 4 that get mentioned the most. He's the top 4 being mentioned by the media, the coaching staff, everyone writing things or talking are mentioning those 4 guys.
Yeah, I mean, he's what, 6'4", 191, and a track kid from high school. Like 6'2" and can run, a sub 1,200 meter dash. Like, it's hard to keep a guy like that off the field. He's super talented, incredibly, big target, big body. Again, it's very much, it's not like I'm trying to think of a good comp for him, but there's not really a good one because he's so big. He came to Texas at 6'2", like 170 something. I think he's listed at like 6'4", 190. So like he's put on good weight, but still is super fast. Like he was a track kid in high school running at 6'2". He's that same level of athlete. So Parker Livingston being on there, like it is not the name I was expecting, but it's not an unexpected name, if that makes sense. Like everything about him says, yep, that makes sense, but it just wasn't the guy I was expecting to hear be the guy. So I'm excited about this group. I think Emmett Mosley is going to be a phenomenal player for Texas this year. I think he is a guy who fans are going to love him by the end of the year. I mean, we know what DeAndre Moore is. We know who Ryan Wingo is. I think this group, it's going to be a really fun group for Sark. And you haven't even mentioned the tight ends. You're going to mention the tight ends in a minute. That's going to even add another additional layer to it of what Sark is able to do, because Sark loves running 2 tight ends. So 2 tight end sets with, a couple of 3 wide receivers out there. You're going to have a fun time doing some interesting things with the offense.
No, and I think you're going to see a lot of go balls for Parker Livingston, a lot of deep posts for Parker Livingston, a lot of deep overs for Parker Livingston, especially a deep over off of play action. I've seen Peyton Manning run a lot under center. I think you're going to see a lot of Arch Manning running that under center, and I think Livingston's going to be the big target there. I think Ryan Wingo also fits really well with that, whereas DeAndre Moore is kind of your 10 to 15 yard intermediate guy there, and Emmett Mosley as well kind of fits in that category. But I think Ryan Wingo and Parker Livingston are going to receive a lot of deep balls in this offense, a lot of attention, taking safeties with them as well when they're not being thrown to, just taking the attention over the top of the defense. So I'm excited. I'm interested to see, the battle starts for me at the 5th wide receiver. I don't know who that's going to be. That's usually kind of where it ends for Sark too. He really only goes with about 5 wide receivers per year that get any amount of run. I think that's probably, if I had to guess, going to be Dalen McCutcheon from everything I've seen. I don't think Michael Terry really factors in right now. I don't think Khalil Lockett factors in right now. People want to say Aaron Butler, really haven't heard much of him. So I do think it's going to be Dalen McCutcheon as that 5th wide receiver that, probably catches 15, 20 passes at most.
Yeah, and this is going to be, I wonder if Texas has a 3 and a cliff this year, maybe instead of the usual 4 and a cliff that we see, just because there are, especially with what we know about Jordan Washington. I'm not trying to get too ahead of my skis because we're going to talk about that next. But ultimately, I just see Sark, who already loves to run 2 tight end sets, running as many 2 tight end sets as he can with 2 or 3 wide receivers out there. So there are only so many balls to go around. So if it's, Wingo, Mosley, Moore, and a cliff, or it's, Wingo, Mosley, Livingston, and a cliff, I'm not sure. I don't imagine it's not DeAndre Moore and Ryan Wingo at 1 and 2, but whoever that 3rd guy is, and then a pretty significant drop off. Just again, because of the options and Sark's proclivities and how he likes to run his offense, we could see that as well.
No, yeah, I don't think Texas can win a national championship if it's DeAndre Moore, Ryan Wingo, and the cliff. I think we definitely need a bona fide number 3 there. Like, no offense to Moore and Wingo, I don't think they're Xavier Worthy and A.D. Mitchell and then a cliff type players. Like, I was cool with that because you have 2 NFL wide receivers and one of them's really damn good, and I believe just broke the yardage record in a Super Bowl. So that's fine with me, but I don't know if DeAndre Moore and Ryan Wingo we can get away with if that's 1 and 2 and then there's a drop off.
Yeah. And I don't think, I think I think there's a legitimate 3rd in there. I just don't know who it is. Having 4 and then that is going to be interesting.
Caden, we appreciate the super chat. The wide receivers against Ohio State's defense in Georgia are going to get locked down, and Arch is going to get sacked multiple times. Hey, we'll have to see. We appreciate the super chat, though.
And we've, and just to that point, we've said it before. I wouldn't be shocked, and Matthew, I think you agree with me, that that Ohio State game, that first game, I think it's going to be lower scoring than people anticipate. I think both of these defenses are going to have a good time against new quarterbacks, have a good time against some offensive lines that are being reworked. The strengths of both of these teams are on the defensive front, and so I think they're going to have, I wouldn't be shocked if it's a 21-17 situation, or a 24-21 situation where we don't see a super high scoring game where it's a last man with the ball win situation. So, and again, Georgia has Texas's number. Texas is like there's no other than, hey, we'll see in Athens, and Georgia has Texas's number.
No, I agree. We might as well kick off the tight end conversation. Benjamin brings up a really good point. In the spring, Sark gushing over Emery Winston, interesting height and weight, 261, 260. Yeah, that's beefy.